I know everybody can hear me, but I'll turn it on because I know they're recording it for anybody that wants to watch it online. So, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming this evening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mark Clark. I'm the mayor of Evans. What I wanted to talk to you about is that the city council has decided to put a ballot initiative on the November ballot to continue our funding of our 1% street sales tax. Currently, that 1% street sales tax is set to expire the 30th of June of 2027. This road tax is a valuable resource for the city to get road maintenance and road projects done. Without this road tax, it would be very difficult, if not near impossible, for the city to do any road maintenance in our community at all. This tax brings in approximately $3 to $4+ million a year, just depending on the economic situations and how many people come into Evans and shop. As you can see around the community, we've done a lot of road improvement projects. Just recently, 23rd Avenue, 17th Avenue, and right now the Ridge at Prairie View, that whole 42nd Street there is getting reconstructed as well. But we still have a long, long way to go. One of the biggest things that this project would definitely fund if the voters approved sales tax. Let me back up a little bit. Sales tax is paid by everybody that comes and shops in Evans, whether you're an Evans resident, a Greeley resident, or whatever community you come from, and you do any type of business that requires any purchase that requires sales tax, you are paying into that fund that helps maintain our roads. Just like when you go to Greeley or you shop in any other community, you're paying sales tax to them, and that money also helps and fund and maintain the roads. So wherever you come from, you do business, you pay sales tax, you are funding our roads and maintaining them and helping them reconstruct. So one of the big things that this project or this road sales tax could do to help fund is 49th Street. 49th Street is an absolute disaster. And one of the things that, as you can see, and I will always preach this, I'm not a deferred maintenance kind of individual, is when you have years and years of deferred maintenance and not maintaining things properly, things like that happens. Roads deteriorate, storm sewer drainages deteriorate, equipment deteriorate, etc. So 49th Street is a huge project that we would have to undertake, and this would be a big funding source to help that. Estimate right now is about $3 million just to do the road construction design, and it would cost about $10 million roughly to do the entire project. And what that would include is a complete reconstruction of that road. That's bringing up everything to standards, all the utilities underneath it and everything, curb, gutter, ADA compliance, everything. One of the big problems and challenges that road faces right now is the drainage situation. Right now, we've discovered that whenever that road was constructed, I don't know how many years ago it was, there is a 6-foot diameter pipe, so 72 inches, that bottlenecks down to about a 13-inch pipe. So if you ever drive down that road or see the road, you see sometimes concrete barriers on top of the manholes. That's because of hydrostatic pressure. That's every time there's a major rainstorm or anything like that, blows the tops of those covers off. So that road needs a lot of work, and it costs a lot of money to just do the reconstruction on that road. This would go, again, a great way to help maintain and fix that road. Also, in addition to that, 37th Street Phase 4, from the roundabout there, about 3/4 miles west to the western entrance of Arrowhead. That's another project that needs to be done as we continue to build out 37th Street to a 4-lane highway. The 1% street sales tax, along with CIP street funds and a couple grants that we've got, is helping construct that road as it is now. But that road still has a long way to go out to a 4-lane highway. The other challenge on that road is the bridge there that goes over the wetlands there on 37th Street. That's going to cost upwards, probably $20 million. It also requires federal permitting as well and federal approval because that bridge goes over wetlands. That's a big undertaking. I will be perfectly honest and transparent with you. I have been working with Congressman Dave Evans' office to see if we can't get any federal funding to help with that bridge to make that project come to a fruition and completion there. So aside from that, we still need money to continue that expansion of that road as well. Also, the 65th Avenue reconstruction, from 30, that area as well, phase 4B, we're going to be starting on that hopefully next year. We have some grant money that needs to be used, and that has to be used in certain timeframes that will help, that construction of that road as well. So, there's some challenges that we have to work through there, and everything. So, the grant money helps, but also the 1% street sales tax goes to fund that as well. 37th Avenue past 49th Street, the cost of that's to be determined, but that's another area in that whole section that needs to be done as well. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of projects in Evans that need to be done, and a lot of things that we're working towards, and of course, all of those things require money. 35th Avenue reconstruction there at Prairie View Drive to 49th Street. And then also County Road 394 and County Road 33 improvements as well. Those need a lot of improvements. We don't know what the cost of that. We'd have to do all the engineering to find out approximately what that cost. Also 29th Avenue there at 32nd Street and 42nd Street. We have projects to do that. And then the reconstruction, some projects there on the east side, either Trinidad or Pueblo. The east side needs a lot of significant stormwater improvements outside the scope of the street sales tax to be done. And then, of course, the 1% also goes to fund annual street maintenance, replacement of curb and gutters. As you all know, all of our curbs and gutters, sidewalks all need to be up to ADA compliance. So, that costs money to tear those out and bring them up to compliance. And this also goes towards funding that as well. One of the things that And that's, again, one of the things that the 1% street sales tax does. We put your tax dollars to work. This fund is completely separate from the general fund budget. This does not go into the general fund. It's maintained completely separate. It does not coincide with the food tax fund as well. That is a completely separate fund. Just like we have other funds that go to fund specific projects, this road tax goes specifically to road reconstructions, maintenance, and everything like that to upkeep. So we're going to go out in November, put this on the ballot. Again, it doesn't raise your taxes because right now you're already paying it. What we're trying to do is make this a permanent sales tax that will continue to fund our roads and continue with our maintenance. As the city grows and as cost and everything go up, road maintenance, road projects, they don't get cheaper. It used to be you could do a couple lane miles for a couple $1 million. Not anymore. They're talking $4 or $5 million. Costs have gone up quite a bit, and unfortunately, the city, if we don't have this, does not have the funds to do that. One of the things I talked about staff with, if we did not get it renewed by the voters, what would happen? And how would we do a project like 49th Street? How would that be impacted? And from what I understand, it would be very difficult to go out and ask the voters to do a public debt to go out and fund this project because most lenders would be very skeptical on providing a loan of upwards of $10+ million on a mill levy of 3.536 mills. It would be nearly impossible for us to get a loan to pay such a major road construction project. However, again, as I said before, it's not just Evans residents that are paying for this. Everybody that comes into Evans and does business. I mean, I only think it's fair that if you come into Evans, you put in wear and tear on our roads, you might as well help pay for our roads. So we're hoping that we will get your vote in November to authorize us to continue this funding, a valuable funding source, and help us continue and improve our roads as we are now. Like I said, if you look out in our roads, we've done a lot of improvements, but we still have a long way to go. valuable funding source to help that. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you may have. Sir, yes, Grant.
4 or 5 years ago, when we did the 1 cent thing, before that, you gave us a scorecard about the condition of the road. It was A, B, C, D, or something like that.
The paver index, yes.
Have you got that? Have you done that again? Will you do that again for us?
We are doing it now. We don't have it yet, but we are doing it as we do it every year. We go out and we survey our roads, and then we rank them in order. And we also hear from our citizens of what some of the priorities are. And right now, the biggest priority in our road is in our area is 49th Street. I saw somebody else have their hand up. No? Oh, yes. Carol. From beginning to end, yes, yes.
Doing the whole thing, both sides?
Both sides. That road is in absolute terrible shape. And we also have some improvements to do there along the ditch as well. So we're going to have to also fix that as well. Years of neglect and deferred maintenance on that. We're going to have to make some improvements on that before we even put down any of the road. Because the last thing we want to do is build a nice shiny road and have it completely demolished by flood water or the ditch or anything like that.
And then, next question, if you don't mind me going on. 65th, what work are you doing talking about on 65th?
So that's part of the Freedom Parkway expansion to make it to a 4-lane road. So the 4-lane road from 37th and all the way out to 402 is eventually going to become a 4-lane road. So out there, where Prairie View Middle School is, yeah, yep.
37th will be a 4-way.
Correct.
I realize that 4 lanes. But where on 65th?
So 65th right there at the corner of 65th and 37th, that whole area right there, yeah. Yep.
I just didn't think they were going to re-tear up the road west of the north of there again.
No, that's going to be, yeah. No.
I see a lot of over in Greeley.
There will be some major. Right, there will be some major improvements on that, like the median and all that stuff. There'll be some replacements of that part of it. But yeah, that's mainly that whole reconstruction to make that for the 4-lane road as well. We've already acquired a lot of the right of way. We still have a little bit more to do to make that happen on other properties to make that. But yes.
Are they putting a roundabout in there?
No.
No.
There's no roundabout scheduled to be on there on the engineering. I heard a please. I like them too. I have no problems with the roundabout. Same here. You know Maria very well then, don't you? Yes, sir. So State Street's posing a serious challenge that we have with the engineering on it. That's all I can say right now. It's on hold. There's some, it's on hold. That's all I can say. I wish I could say more, but I can't. So two more to come at a future date on that. Yes, ma'am. Social media, town halls, like I'm doing now. That's how we're doing it, getting the word out. Other council members speaking to people in their community as well to mention this. So social media, town halls, council members out there talking to their constituents as well. That's how we're doing it. I saw you have your hand up? No? Okay. Yes?
When you say beginning to end on 49th, is that 35th to 65th?
35th to 60th, the beginning to end. Let me get that whole 35th to 60th, all of it, the whole road. I'm also going to try to get with Commissioner Scott James and hopefully see if we can get the county to partner with us not gonna pay for the whole thing, but, you know, some of the costs that we can maybe pass, you know, help take off the burden off of, you know, people in Evans here, but we'll see what they have to say on that. Because a lot of that road benefits the county properties. As you've driven that road many of times, it's all surrounded by county, pretty much farmland, flooded irrigation. Last thing I want to do is spend $10 million plus and just have it completely flooded by flood irrigation from farmers and everything and that, and not have proper drainage. And then that couple of years, that road just starts to erode and we're right back to square one. So hopefully we'll get a good partnership with them to at least help us out. Can't guarantee it, but I'm going to at least pitch the idea to them. Sir?
Sounds like what you outlined here, in order to get it done in 4 or 5 years, it would take more than twice the 1 cent. You'd have to have 2 cents or more. Am I right?
It would actually, if we did it like that, yes. However, with that being said, when you have a permanent funding source like a 1% street sales tax, you can go out and easily get like a bond and all that to secure like a debt for that without having to go to the voters. Because it's a because it's a permanent funding source, we're able to go out and get money secured based on that. But yes, if we were just to do it without doing that, it would take at least 3+ years to get to the amount of money to do it all. But
I don't want it. You're still gonna spend the money. Then you just got debt, don't you? You gotta pay off the bond.
well, you still have to pay out the bonds, but it's funded by a permanent taxing source. If you want,
Enough for that.
well, that's where the 1% street sales tax is. You bond off of that because that is a permanent thing. That is a permanent tax revenue. Unlike if we went out for public debt and try to bond off of a mill levy, we can't do that. But because we could have a permanent funding source of a sales tax that's constantly bringing in money, we are able to do that. If we waited any longer and longer and just kept putting 49th off on the back burner, that road is going to cost, instead of $10 million, is now going to cost $12+ million. The idea would be to go out, if we were given the extension of this, is to be able to go out and put money towards it, what we have currently in the bank, plus maybe get an additional funding source, maybe partner with the county, and maybe go out for a small bond on that to get the rest of that project done. Because again, a year to design and at least a year plus to probably complete that whole road once that design project gets done. If we just waited and put all that money in the bank, it would take 3+ years to get that done, in addition to all the other things we have to do in the community as well.
You can't eat maybes.
You can't, but at the same time, okay, what would your suggestion be to do something like that? I mean, we have to have a funding source to do that. So in order to have a funding source,
What's my suggestion?
right, I would love to hear your suggestion.
We live in the richest oil field. Tax the oil because they don't have voters to say no.
So
Number one.
that would be really difficult, one, because of the volatility with oil and gas in the state. That's a very difficult. Relying on oil revenue or taxes is very difficult, because right now what's going on in the state, they want to chop oil and gas. Exactly, they want to shut it down. So if they shut it down or they restrict it, that revenue continues to shrink. When we do our annual budgets, we don't even really look at oil and gas revenue because it's so volatile. We can't even really count on it for any type of money in the city. We don't have much of it within the city as well. So we can't go out and get money that we don't have, and the state's trying to say, we don't want you to have it anyway.
Number two, I can't vote against the hotel motel tax.
Right?
The hospitality people raise that one.
Okay, but again, we can raise all these taxes. We can bring on the hotel taxes doesn't give us enough revenue to offset all of that.
You gotta go all the little places you can get to get it up. You can't just say, just ask for roads.
Okay, but here's the thing. If we continue to go out and ask for all these tax increases, there's going to come to the point where the people say no. And our taxes are too high where they're going to go shop somewhere else and do business somewhere else. We have to also keep it affordable for our residents as well. If we go out and just continuously tax everything, people are going to say it's too expensive here. I'll go across the street in Greeley. It's cheaper. Or I'll go down the street to LaSalle or Milliken or wherever because I don't have to pay as much tax.
Okay, I gotta ask you the hard one.
Okay?
Tuesday night, you said something happened here, things got messed up 13 years ago. Explain yourself.
Okay, so 13 years ago, when the fire district was formed, we had a mill levy of about 13.536 mills. When the fire district was formed, the fire district of the vote of the people said we want to form and create a fire district. With that, they asked for 5.5 mills, they received that. And through part of the fire district formation, 10 of the city's mills also transferred to the fire district. That left us with 3.536 mills. So about 74% of some of the revenue we could have collected over those past years could have been into the city. However, it went to the fire district. Really not here to, I'm not here to put blame on anybody, say anything. The voters voted for it. Hey, that's great. The fire district and the men and women of the fire district, they're fantastic people. But the city has never made up that funding source of when it lost those 10 mills that transferred to the fire district.
Right, you and many of the board been around for 13 years and you haven't fixed it.
Well,
You're sitting on your,
that actually is not true. I as a city council member have one vote just like everybody else on the council. If a majority of the council does not want to go out and ask the voters for a mill levy increase, we can't do that. I have been advocating for a mill levy increase since at least 2018. There's another council member here that's been on council just as long as I have, and he could attest to that. I'm one vote, even as mayor, I'm one vote. If three other council members besides me do not feel that that's something that they want to go out for, we can't go out and ask the voters for a mill levy increase. The biggest issue is nobody wants to be the mayor or the council that raises somebody's taxes. I get it. But at the same time, that's why we're in this situation now. Nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anybody. But here's the thing. I can't fix what was in the past. I can't do anything about the past. All I can do is from right now, from this day forward, try to fix it, move forward.
you're in charge now, you're the mayor. You gotta make a plan to solve all this.
And we are trying to find a way to fund it. The thing is, it's all costs money.
You gotta fix it.
We know we do. We're trying to. We're trying to. We try to go out for a mill levy increase and we listen to the residents. The residents says we don't want to do this. A lot of the individuals I talk to, and I respect their opinion 110%. We would rather vote for the sales tax and keep it permanent because everybody pays for it. If I had a choice, if I was going to vote for one or the other, I'm going to vote for the sales tax. But if I vote for the mill levy increase, I'm not going to vote for the sales tax. So, listening to our people,
You haven't told us this 13-year problem.
I just did.
Yeah.
And I actually talked about
The
it.
city doesn't know about it, and you gotta make a big deal out of what deep peanut butter you're in.
I actually did quite a bit of that when we were talking about the mill levy increase. I showed exactly what happened when we went through the slides, and I had a presentation of exactly when that happened and why it was so vital for us to ask for a mill levy increase. I can't force the voters to vote for something they don't want.
You paid for a PR firm to make the case.
The PR firm, we did bring something out. It's all about money. And the thing is, when we went out to this and we listened to the PR firm, they even said to us, you may not get it because of when we had a survey that was out and sent out to the public, which over 375 people responded to. There was some back and forth, and they didn't like the mill levy amount that we went to. We even decided to even phase it in over three years. I went out, council members went out and explained to it. People said, we don't want it. Right now is not the right time. If we had to choose between one or the other, we would prefer to vote and have the sales tax made permanent, because that goes a long way. I've gone out and talked to people. I still talk to people about it. Unfortunately, nobody's in that position to where they want to do something about it this time. And if they would prefer the 1% sales tax to remain permanently and everything, I would rather get that, because that goes a long way to funding roads and completing road maintenance.
You don't find any solution. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're just gonna be in worse position.
But I can't force somebody to vote on something they don't want at this time. And the voters, when I went out and did my town halls and I've talked to people in the community and other council members have, they made their voices very well heard. We're not going to vote for it.
Talking to 10 people.
I've had 37 people at a meeting. I talked to people, not just outside, not just in here. I talk to people in the community quite a bit. I hear from people. I talk to people. I get emails. I am communicating. This is my way to engage with the public as a whole or more of a mass. This is why I do this. And because I can't be everywhere at once, but everywhere I talk to, people have told me that. Other council members have that told them as well. Yes, ma'am.
That's why I was asking how you're going to publicize this. If people don't know about this and they get a lot of stuff in the fire district, I'm afraid they're going to vote. If they choose one, I'm afraid they're going to choose the fire district over the road tax. That's why I was asking how you can get this publicized so people realize you're getting for the 1%.
Well, right now, because we decided to put it on November and we've changed focus from the mill levy, it would be a little bit difficult in the cost to get a PR firm to get that out. And because everybody already is paying the 1%, it's not increasing your taxes. It's easier to say, without raising your taxes, do you want to keep this in perpetuity to make it permanent? But we are out there communicating ourselves and everything. It's money we really don't even have to spend and put a lot of information out there through PR firms. So we have to do it the good old-fashioned grassroots way. It's talking to people. And a lot of people I've already talked to, like I said, I was answering earlier, I'd rather just vote and keep the 1% straight sales tax, because I know everybody else pays it and it's not raising my property taxes or anything else either. So I think hopefully just by that and talking to them, it sells itself. Because if you drive down, what do you see? Good roads coming. So. We do. We get people that come up and pick up copies. We get people that look at it online. There's people that have subscribed to it. There are people that are actively engaged in that. So we are reaching social media quite a bit. We see a lot of comments on that. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that got 49th Street. I could probably show you 600 plus comments on 49th Street just alone on Facebook. So, and I've talked to people that live in like Neville's Crossing and those, really affected by, 49th Street and other areas as well. And they're like, yeah, the 1% street sales tax, we're already paying for it. We're going to keep it permanent. Let's just do it. So it's easier to say without raising taxes. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I have a couple comments.
Sure.
One, I follow the city of Evans on all media platforms.
Good.
I share your information
Appreciate that.
with all of our people through the VFW.
I appreciate that.
A lot of them live in Evans, but yes, we're all over Will County. So I like the fact that, and then I get the newsletter, everything here, I get it all. So I keep up on stuff.
Okay,
surveys. I did not fill out your survey. Got all the way to the end, and I chose not to fill it out. I would suggest in the future, you will get more people to fill out your survey if you're not asking personal questions. It's none of the city's business what my political affiliation is in order to fill out a survey.
okay.
Now, you might think you're gaining something from that, but a lot of people I talked to said that was the reason they did not fill it out. They got all the way through it and didn't submit it because there were questions that were asked about personal, people that don't want to share that information. They don't want to share what does it matter, me filling out a survey, what's my education, what's my income, and what's my political affiliation. You just want city residents to fill out a survey and let you know what they think.
Yeah, okay, well, that's duly noted, thank you for that. And we did actually hire a professional strategist to come out and do that, and thanks for that information, that feedback, well,
Because I do know that I would say at least 10 people I talked to about that was the reason they didn't fill out the survey.
okay,
They wanted to give their opinion, but if it would let you leave it blank, that would be even better.
okay, well,
And it wouldn't let you leave it blank.
I appreciate the feedback, so next time we looking to do something like that, we'll make sure that that information is not put in there. Thought I had that far enough away from me. Thank you, I appreciate the feedback.
Thank you. And I did talk to somebody in your office about it.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, good, appreciate that. Okay.
Sorry.
No, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any additional questions? Well, I will say to follow up more on the question that you asked, Dan, you can't see him. He's in the room over there. He's our communication director, and he does a fantastic job putting stuff out there on our platforms. He's been the one that's been championing this as well. And then once it comes time to where we can't, where we have to put the official language on the ballot, the city will not be able to have any other engagement regarding this. So the ways you'll get it is probably from your council member or your reps and just by word of mouth with people. Because once it goes on the ballot, officially adopted by the council, the city has to stay out of it and can't really post any more information about that as well. So you'll be getting a lot of that stuff from us and my town hall meetings.
And one more thing.
Sure, yeah.
I would challenge everybody in this room that comes to these meetings to ask a neighbor to come with you, to ask a friend that lives in Evans, because we're not going to get more people at these town hall meetings if you don't ask them to come. We had somebody that was going to come with us tonight that we asked last week, but something came up and they weren't going to be able to. I know that Dave and I are going to make more of an effort to ask our neighbors to come with us.
Yeah.
Because look at us. I mean, we're all getting older. Who's going to come to these meetings 10 years from now?
And our population is actually pretty young. The average age in Evans is about 29 years old.
And I don't mind giving up an hour or two once, what do we meet? Every 2 or 3
Yeah, I try to do it like every month and a half. I try to do that. You know, and I enjoy doing it. I mean, whether I have 3 people, 10 people, whatever. I think last time when you were here, what do we have? Like 37, 38? We had quite a few, whatever that was. So yeah, no, I enjoy going out and talking to people. And like I said, if you want me to come to your neighborhood and, you know, have like a night out at the park or whatever, or however you reach out to me, I'm more than happy to come talk to you. I've had a Neville's Crossing, a couple people from there asked me to come speak to their community. I'm just waiting for a date and time, and I'll go out there and talk to their community. If you want me to do the same in yours, call me up, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to find some time in my schedule and let's make it happen.
What about at Evans Heritage Days? Is it possible that you could take a few minutes to talk to the people in the crowd in the evening, the 2 different crowds?
I already plan to do that.
Good.
I'm going to be emceeing the event this year, and I will definitely have a plug or two for that throughout the day. So yeah. So, and again, I'm going to do one of these again before probably, let's see, this is August already. Geez, I can't believe it's already August. Probably do it again in September, sometime in September, and then probably again in October. Then, yeah, just keep it going. I try to do them on Thursdays. Usually planning on Thursday around 6 o'clock. I try to coordinate it with my Fridays off and everything like that. So, you know, hopefully, probably, yeah, sometime maybe right after Labor Day, hold another one, and then Heritage Days, and then we'll do another one probably again in October, all the way up until the ballot. coming up in
I
November.
think that's great because you'll have that captive shroud in the evening, you know. That's
Absolutely.
a lot of people go out.
And in the afternoon. So, does anybody else have any more questions or anything? Yes, sir.
Back to 49th
Yes.
Street and 37th Street.
Okay.
What type of traffic uses both of those roads? Is it the same type of traffic for both roads, or do you have, is 49th more commercial industrial versus 37th being commuter cars? Are they the same type?
It's about a mix. 49th Street's mainly more industrial, more, that going through that. 37th Street is mostly commuters, but there are some, semi trucks and everything that go through that. 49th Street takes the bulk of that because most of it on the farmland and everything and going out to the industrial park area. So that's a more higher concentration. But 37th Street has also been designed about what the original plans for 37th Street, like I said, and that's just not 37th Street. It's going to go all the way out to 402 there, I-25. They're wanting to take pressure off of Highway 34 and everything, and I-25, people going, eastbound. That's main of the reasons, part of like why US 34 will start getting a big, not going, with Greeley's. So Greeley's got a lot of plans, so does CDOT and everything for Highway 34. It's just growing so much that they're looking at ways to take off some of those feeder routes off of I-25 and 34, and they come through Evans, which could be a good thing because we're going to get the money from them when they stop through Evans and, help pay for the wear and tear on the road. Yes, ma'am.
They wanna take the pressure off of Highway 34, which would be a godsend, it's awful. Would the state be willing to chip in on any of 37th Street to help get to that point?
No, the state wouldn't because it's not a CDOT maintained road. Like I said, the county may. Then that's why I have a meeting with Commissioner James tomorrow. Like I said, can't guarantee, but I could probably get a partnership with the county. I can get some grant money when it's available through the North Front Range Metropolitan, but it has to be for one of those large arterial roads like at 37th Street. I do get some grant money for that. We usually get, on average, maybe $1 million, just depending on what fund comes available from the state. But we're kind of capped because of the size of our community of what kind of, and the pot of money that comes out for that. So every little tax dollar or grant that we get, we go after it. Like I said, I've been talking to Congressman Gabe Evans' office, right now with the congressional spending and everything to get some funding for projects as well. Just right now, a lot of that funding and sources on hold and everything, but hopefully when that comes back as a funding source, we can go work with him and maybe even get some money for that, especially the bridge on 37th Street. That's going to be a huge expense. And even if they get us the bridge and help us through the federal permitting process, that's a lot of money that's going to be saved by the taxpayers in Evans to get that done. So we always find the creative ways to come up with some kind of funding source. It's just the amount of money that we have that's available to us because of the size of our community and what's available. Sir.
Just curious, a while back when they repaved 47th Avenue, they're off of 49th.
Okay.
Was that an Evans project or was that a county project, or where'd that money come from?
That it was an Evans project and we paid for it. Yeah. So. Anybody else have any more questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out this evening. I really appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you guys again. And hopefully we'll see you at a council meeting. And if not, we'll hopefully see you out at Heritage Days in September on the 13th. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, we'll do this again in September. And again, look forward to seeing you then as well. Thank you.